Nana's heart raced. She took a deep breath and pushed the door gently. It creaked a little, and she froze. But Amaka didn't wake up. She stepped inside, her hands shaking. The baby was sleeping peacefully. "I'm sorry, Amaka," she whispered. Slowly, she picked up the baby, wrapping him in a thick cloth. The baby stirred, but didn't wake up. She held him close to her chest, her heart pounding. Just as she turned to leave, Amaka shifted in her sleep and mumbled something. Nana held her breath, afraid she had woken up. The stolen child. Nana sat outside her small hut, staring at the sky. The moon was full and bright, but her heart felt empty. She sighed deeply and placed her hand on her belly. 10 years of marriage, yet no child. No little feet running around, no baby's laughter. From the next compound, she heard Amaka singing, "Sleep, my baby, sleep, my love." Nana's chest tightened. She could hear the soft cooing of baby Chiamere. She could hear Amaka laughing as she played with her son. Nana clenched her fists. "Why not me?" she whispered, her voice shaking. Her husband, Obinna, stepped out of the hut. He saw the sadness on her face and placed a hand on her shoulder. "Nana, stop torturing yourself. Our time will come," he said softly. "When?" Nana snapped. Tears filled her eyes. "When will it come, Obinna?" 10 years and nothing. Look at Amaka. She just got married last year, and she already has a baby. What about me? Obinna sighed. The gods have their time for everything. "I'm tired of waiting," Nana shouted. She stood up and wiped her face angrily. "Maybe the gods have forgotten me. Maybe I will never have a child." Obinna pulled her close. "Don't say that. The gods are watching. We just have to be patient." But patience was not what Nana wanted. She wanted a baby now. And as she listened to Amaka's happy laughter, something dark grew in her heart. A thought she had never allowed before whispered in her mind. What if Chiamere was mine? She shook her head quickly. No, that was wrong, but the idea refused to leave. The more she thought about it, the more it made sense. She turned and watched Amaka through the small fence between their huts. Amaka rocked Chiamere in her arms, smiling as the baby yawned. Nana felt a lump in her throat. She wanted that happiness. She wanted that joy. And deep inside her, a dangerous decision began to form. Nana could not sleep. She lay on her mat, staring at the ceiling, her heart pounding. The thought kept coming back. What if Chiamere was mine? She turned to look at Obinna, who was fast asleep. He had told her to be patient, but he didn't understand how she felt. The pain of seeing other women carrying their babies while her arms were empty. The pain of hearing people whisper behind her back, calling her the barren woman. Suddenly, she sat up. Her hands felt cold, but her mind was made up. If I can have my own child, I will take one. She listened carefully. The night was silent except for the sound of crickets. Slowly, she stood up, tied her wrapper, and tiptoed outside. The moonlight was bright, making everything look silver. She moved quickly to Amaka's hut and peeped through the small opening in the window. Amaka was fast asleep, her arms wrapped around Chiamere, who lay beside her. Nana's heart raced. She took a deep breath and pushed the door gently. It creaked a little, and she froze, but Amaka didn't wake up. She stepped inside, her hands shaking. The baby was sleeping peacefully, his chest rising and falling. I'm sorry, Amaka, she whispered. Slowly she picked up Chiamere, wrapping him in a thick cloth. The baby stirred but didn't wake up. She held him close to her chest, her heart pounding. Just as she turned to leave, Amaka shifted in her sleep and mumbled something. Nana held her breath, afraid she had woken up. But Amaka just sighed and turned to the other side. Nana quickly stepped out and hurried into the night. Her legs moved fast, her breath heavy. She walked through the village, past the sleeping huts, past the marketplace, past the big odala tree. She didn't stop. She couldn't stop. By the time she reached the thick forest path, her legs were weak, but she kept going. She had to leave before morning, She had to get far away before Amaka woke up. She looked at the tiny baby in her arms. He was hers now. She smiled. For the first time in years, she felt like a mother. Back in Umuama, Amaka's eyes suddenly snapped open. She reached for her baby, but her arms met empty space. "Here, Mary," she called, still half asleep. She felt around the bed. Nothing. Her heart began to race. She sat up quickly, looking around the dark hut. "Here, Mary," she called again, her voice shaking. She jumped down from the bed and checked the floor. Nothing. Then it hit her. Her baby was gone. A last scream tore through the night. "My baby! Somebody help me! My baby is gone!" The whole village woke up. People rushed out with lanterns. Women gathered around Amaka, trying to calm her, but she kept screaming. "He was right here. He was sleeping beside me. My baby is gone." The village elders arrived, and soon a search party was formed. Men grabbed their machetes and spread out in different directions. But by the time they saw Rose, Nana was already far away, carrying another woman's child. The new village welcomed Nana with open arms. She told them her name was Oluchi, and that she has come to start a new life with her baby. The woman smiled at her, some even helping her settle in. She found a small hut to stay in, and for the first time in a long time, she felt like a mother. But something was wrong. Chiemere would not stop crying. Day and night, his tiny voice filled the hut. Nana tried everything. She rocked him, sang for him, fed him, even wrapped him in the warmest clothes, but nothing worked. "Shh, my baby," she whispered, bouncing him in her arms. "It's okay. Mama is here." But the baby only cried louder. The villagers began to notice. One afternoon, an old woman named Mama Obele knocked on Nana's door. "My daughter," she said, stepping inside. "This child has not stopped crying since you arrived. Are you sure he is all right?" Nana forced a smile. "Yes, Mama. He is fine. Maybe he just misses his father." Mama Obele nodded, but didn't look convinced. She placed a wrinkled hand on Chiemere's forehead and frowned. "This child is not sick. His spirit is troubled." Nana's heart skipped. "What do you mean?" The old man sighed. "Some children cry when they are far from home. They know when something is not right." She gave Nana a long look. "Are you sure this child is yours?" Nana's hand shook. She held Chiemere tighter. "Of course, he's mine," she snapped. "I gave birth to him with my own body." Mama Bella stared at her for a moment, then nodded slowly. "All right, but if a child does not stop crying, it means his real mother is crying too." She turned and left. That night Nema tossed and turned on her bed. Sweat covered her forehead. Her body was tired, but sleep refused to come. Each time she closed her eyes, she heard Chiemere's cries. And in her mind, she saw Amaka, sitting on the ground, tears streaming down her face, calling for her child. Then the dream came. She saw Amaka, barefoot, standing in the middle of the village, looking weak and broken. Her clothes were dirty, her eyes swollen from crying. "Where's my son?" Amaka whispered. Nana tried to speak, but her throat felt tight. "Where is my son?" Amaka asked again, her voice louder this time. Then Nana looked down. Chiemere was no longer in her arms. He was running towards Amaka, laughing. "No!" Nana screamed, reaching for him, but her hands passed through him like air. He kept running until he jumped into Amaka's arms. Nana woke up with a loud gasp. She sat up, breathing fast. The room was dark, except for the faint moonlight. She turned to look at Chiemere. He was asleep now, but his tiny face looked sad, even asleep. Tears filled Nana's eyes. She has stolen this baby. She has stolen another woman's happiness. And man, she had no peace. She buried her face in her hands and wept. By morning, she knew what she had to do. The morning sun rose gently over the village, but in Nana's heart there was only darkness. Her eyes felt heavy as she wrapped Chiemere in a soft cloth. His small face looked peaceful, but she knew deep inside he was not happy. "I'm taking you home," she whispered, pressing a kiss to his forehead. "I'm sorry, my son. I mean, Amaka's son." Her hands trembled as she stepped outside. The villagers were already awake, preparing for the day. Some women smiled at her, some waved, but she did not stop. She walked past the huts, past the market square, past the big Iroko tree. She walked and walked, her heart beating faster with every step. By the time she reached Umuama, the sun was high in the sky. The moment she stepped into the village, everything went silent. People stopped what they were doing. Women carrying baskets paused. Children playing in the sand turned to look, and the men sitting under the palm trees stood up. It was as if time had stopped. Then, someone shouted, "Look, it's Nana, and she's holding a baby." The crowd gathered quickly, whispering, pointing. Amaka came out of her hut, looking thinner than before. Her face was tired, her eyes sunken from crying too much. But the moment she saw the baby, her whole body shook, her lips parted, but no words came out. Then, like thunder, her voice broke through the air. "My baby!" She ran forward, pushing through the crowd. Nana held out Chiemere, her hand shaking. The moment Amaka grabbed him, she collapsed to the ground, sobbing loudly. My son, you were alive." The crowd gasped. Some people started crying, others shouted in anger. "She stole the child. This wicked woman took Amaka's baby." The village elders arrived, their faces hard. "Nana," one of them said, his voice deep and full of disappointment. "Why did you do this?" Tears rolled down Nana's face. She dropped to her knees. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I wanted a child so badly. I was jealous. I made a mistake." Amaka looked up, tears streaming down her face. "A mistake?" she said, her voice shaking. "Do you know what you did to me? I almost died from crying. You stole my joy. You stole my life." The villagers roared in agreement. Some shouted for punishment. "She must be dealt with. She should be beaten. She should never live among us again." The others raised their hands, and the crowd went silent. "For stealing another woman's child," the eldest man said, "for causing pain and sorrow, we declare that Nema shall be banished from Umuama forever. She will never step foot here again." Nema's whole body went cold. Banishment? That meant no home, no family, no second chance. She opened her mouth to beg, but she saw the anger in their eyes. She had no right to ask for mercy. Slowly, she stood up. She looked at Amaka, who was still holding Chiemere tightly, rocking him as if afraid he would disappear again. "I'm sorry," Nana whispered one last time. Then, she turned and walked away. As she left the village, the sound of Amaka's happy cries filled the air. That night, Amaka held Chiemere close, singing to him with joy. But Nana walked alone into the dark, with nothing but regret in her heart. Lesson: no matter how much you want something, if it does not belong to you, it will never bring you peace.